also decried Europe's unnatural divisions, that is, deprive its peoples of the right to meet one another in a climate of friendship. 7 years later, to the exact day, the Berlin Wall was breached, enabling Germans, both East and West, to freely meet in a climate of friendship. Okay.
Wall.
Yes.
Berlin Wall. Because I know a divided country, no. I'm who say you Eastern Germany and you Western Germany. And the bubu, you know, that marked the beginning of.
In 1983, on the first papal pilgrim to Vienna, Austria, the Pope once again spoke out against the national and artificial borders over all Europe, from the Atlantic to the Urals, from the North Sea to the Mediterranean. In 1987, the pontiff said in Speyer, West Germany, that Europeans, both East and West, Strasbourg, France, headquarters of two important European institutes, the Council of the Europe and the European Parliament, before the later Assembly, which is the legislative body of the 12th nation. I'm saying my jump here, baby. In 1987, the pontiff said in Speyer, West Germany, that Europeans, both West and East and West, I said a better should overcome the menacing international confrontations of the state and alliance and create a new united Europe from the Atlantic to the Urals. In Speyer, the Pope made a special appeal for unification with the Orthodox churches of the East. A little over a year later, the energetic campaigner for European unity took his crusade to Strasbourg, France, headquarters of two important European institutions, the Council of Europe and the European Parliament. Before the later Assembly, which is legislative body of the 12th nation European Community, John Paul encouraged the delegates not to limit their unification effort to Western Europe. The integrated Europe of tomorrow, he told them, should be opened toward the east of the continent. He called for Europe to enlarge the dimensions given to her by geography. While Mr. Gorbachev talks consistently of a common European home, he is not alone in using such architectural terminology. In his remarks to Mr. Gorbachev, John Paul said that the Pope's house has always been a home for the representatives of all the peoples of the earth. Re-Christianize Europe. Many observers speculate today that the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union, such a collapse would ordinarily be catastrophic. But what if Estonians, Lithuanians, Latvians, even the great Russians, take up their own sovereign rules in a re-Christianized European structure, where national borders no longer mean as much as they do today? One Orthodox official, incidentally, predicts a second Christianization of Russia. The consistency of the papal theme regarding Europe has been remarkable over the past 11 years, though it has not always received adequate attention in the news media. Future historians may yet examine how crucial was the role of the Vatican in the unfolding of the dramatic event in 1989.
Now, there were kind of effort prophetically.
Yes.
Pope John Paul II says play na European integration.
Yes.
Etimi etua namo na edimu. Na the Ekoba and say Second World War, and I said the purpose for the First World War say be lead to the establishment of the first communist state.
Yes.
And a Second World War, the best trending communism. Now for your religion as insane, a couple time you be say here, the debate. And the way no kind way, Albert Pike's 3 wars.
Okay.
Second World War. What can I consider?
Okay. The Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social.
Mema wo kan we nu nyina Second World War ni twa mu no sabre no ne set up
cyclism, okay.
The modern state of Israel or Palestine. Sanya Jewfo no so benya nan agina so almost we play omu role. Satan no amu and you say best strengthen communism.
Yes.
Soviet Union benya satellite nations. You best suspend Christianity, religion until such a time you best say here be na ye dia be final cataclysm. And did you can any nyina in church mu ni say enano emrana so for religion to come back.
Yes.
And is a baba dia na say communism ehwiase.
Yes.
Nye yi free honum. And the ko nante ye no. Therefore to me paid off. Getting to the end of 1991 and we are betia and say communism ahwiase. Hey, and we be resisting back kukra. Senior communism amba betena over 70 years. No ahwiase. And one say ahwiase sa. Obi ahunu ho hwe. Entino. Let's say ahwiase for a new Europe to carry out its portion of the prophetic plan. And our working kind. And no John Paul so started. And do I no we ya e ko ba ye no. Na afi e di ebiu ne ebeye. Communism no ahwiase. Na ye den e na ahwiase. And so me do ko ba bi. O be kai a Abraham Lincoln he was assassinated.
Yes.
In 1860 and a man US and the Vatican a breaking relationship, diplomatic relations. Say per Vatican anymore review muda President Pena Sempa Abraham Lincoln and more kuno free honum and the emperor. If he said the entire woman pen say almost suspect say the murder of Abraham Lincoln, Vatican for man shelter. Munyi ni mrani so muni amfa ni nya de de be ya. Mama ni shelter ni esadia enimo atwetwam tintanto 1865. It was not until 1984 Ronald Reagan war power onu no oba be restore relationships. Oba restore no na oba kan say yaba e dey person any mutu anamon efata. Don't forget America's role in the diplomat in the one rule to lift the Vatican
Empire, yes.
And one mobile almost near manu and a coba say almost transibor almost trimupo and the book could be and a debar say Roman Empire and I say Vatican any Reagan pontiff almost a Rocco democracy.
Okay.
And we need
I say
paper bay
paper no way. Graphic 18 September 1996. I say pontiff Reagan rocked communism. Okay. Yabakayana.
Say me mark baby ya dey ayan make say book bi and a diba say wo mu mienu na ko trance ebo wo mu trimupo how to bring down communism.
Okay.
But near Dika can or Hanum,
yes.
Say, Emrenasu to use religion to fade off communism.
Yes.
Time magazine also carry front cover. Was it how
Reagan and the Pope conspired to assist Poland's
solidarity, less violence,
and hasten the demise of communism.
And now it was no secret. Says one Mushia Vatican Library, picture nini.
Who's the picture?
And information I want to tribo.
I say France Macron, Papa friends, US president. Trump. The also is here. Biden. I'm motive every bomb commodity.
Oh, and the cover win by in 1991. Enna communism, a befiasi. And the befiasi, no, and a Newsweek magazine. Ediba say no, Europe in the year 2000. I didn't be see. Yes,
new borders, new dangers, new members of the
EC. European integration in the economy. European integration. Now, I first video, one video. I'm saying the second one without no
fall of communism.
Fall of communism.
Yes, first video. I wish you because I can say we cap Africa. So you can first video, fall of communism. There, but before that, you know, we message Kakraba and men can be my saying, great teachers, may Yah bless you with long life and healthy life. Ofori from Ejra. We so or say, please, name is Ofasam. Watching live from Brekum, but now I'm in the Accra Sprinters. Okay, but Offer and the team, how can I meet you? Because I have something to discuss with you one-on-one. Please tell me. Okay, right. To me. I say hi. My name is Kofi from Enyinem in Eastern Region. Please, I want to join the movement. Okay, we'll share crawling and nam TV na senaba bia be Eastern Region number no abomodi no afa ofata. We thank you for teaching us what will happen in these last days. Does this mean the Bible truly the word of God? From Agama Obwase. Agama Nebisa no yo. Ofe, today with your outfit, you are the youngest man ever. I don't know. I say shalom, shalom. My mentors, I'm highly positive in the teachings. May Yahweh gives you more wisdom from Kojo Amprofi, Seshibakwai, Sila. For an idea, so now the youngest will say, please, I'm Morgan. Can I get your source so I can also read by myself? And can I get your number? A number there at that TV. So sang. What's my name is Innocent. Dean Bakus or Sunday me who didn't it's a free toll or whatever. Afro watching you from DR Congo, Kinshasa. God bless you all for teaching. Okay. Of a Congo for saying Yamisha. Hey, this is the real history. We are jotting things down. You see, Obwase, I wish you had first video or say fall of communism. Yanko Hemra, because I can also message, you know, what the far 0200421723 0200142172 what the far by okay, first video, fall of communism. Yan Hemra.
Picture. Remember the finger to the mouth, what that meant? That is a sign of Horus. Silence, secrecy. The folded hands mean something. Only President Ronald Reagan and the Pope, who were present in the Vatican Library on that day, one of the earliest goals as president, Reagan says, was to recognize the Vatican as a state and to make them an ally. That's contrary to the American Constitution. Both of them received a mini wound and lived. That's not significant, it's just interesting. Just interesting. It's almost like the image is following the beast. John Paul's triumph. Here we have another signal picture. We have Gorbachev and the papacy together. They exchanged some gifts. The party comes to an end. Communism had served its purpose. It could go. And the man was without a country. This was a nice joke in a South African magazine, the egg being communism. And he said, "Maar hier staan niks in nie. There's nothing in here." You see, it was a ruse to make people believe something or other. And then finally, who would get the credit for the fall of communism? If communism had been set up to subjugate the Orthodox Church and to eliminate Protestant thinking in the east of Germany, which it certainly did, once it had accomplished that, communism could go and be dissipated, and who would get the credit for that? The Pope would get the credit for that. How do we know that? Because Mary had already, supposedly, in Fatima said, the Pope will consecrate the whole world to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and Russia will be converted. That was easy to say because the Bolsheviks had just taken power in 1917, the very year when that statement was made. They knew they had it in the bag, not too difficult. The three secrets, not too bad either. The first was a vision of hell, which makes no sense whatsoever. The second one was Russia will be consecrated. They'd taken power anyway. And the third one was that a future pope would receive an attack on his life, but survive and issue in the final events. Now, if you know history in advance because you are creating it, that's no problem. Now, did the papacy receive the honor for that? Well, let's ask the presidents of the United States whether that is so. This is the papal visit to the United States since Louis. Let's ask the then-time President Bill Clinton to tell us what he thinks.
2,400 of his faithful here to welcome him. He's waving to the crowd. Archbishop Regali is alongside the Pope as he shakes hands with the First Lady.
We honor you for helping to lead a revolution of values and spirit in Central Europe and the former Soviet Union, freeing millions to live by conscience, not coercion, and freeing all of us from the constant fear of nuclear war. Your Holiness, on behalf of all of us gathered here today, indeed on behalf of all the people of our beloved nation, we welcome you back to America.
His Holiness Pope John Paul II and the Vice President of the United States and Archbishop.
So who received the honor for bringing down the Soviet Union? The Pope. We honor you for freeing millions. So.
Right. And sorry, dear everybody. Now, of our also a branch KT collection. And I be a demano. What share now opese obi sandals at the mount. And that's shoe. Ghana, the quality leather aye. Ekuta quality show. Ebe chair the amawa fair. Which to me a couple programs I hold on say a wedding engagement. And now sorry baby. Which to me a quite KT collection. O me na ase efe pa dako ibi ya de from here na ase most brightness into pe KT collection wa empa papa ma wa friend 0543 995919 0543 995919 akra no opese oye bi ma na o de koton de contract and ko gu shop a ni nyina no friend na obeya ma over to asoma yen
yo ya me to aso de manuasi na kwaku nso abram
okay
abe kan de eye abakosem gi has de no se wa prepare na 1991 na communism hwea February 1992
okay
and the European leaders biem ekoshia wo kro bi e friend no Maastricht
okay
a Catholic town bia e won Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
Netherlands nso de obi anim say a predominantly Protestant country.
Yes.
But Maastricht in there a dominantly a Catholic. How no mo sign Maastricht Treaty. Na Maastricht Treaty o mo sign no. Eno na ebema Europe in the year 2000, you know, new borders, new dangers, new members of the European Union. Ebeba. Okay. Enti ede Maastricht Treaty. Me de manu be see ha.
Wow. Offer say a day any Maastricht Treaty or nano AC. Na answer the beko ora Israel or make how say o hwe na nyame adom kanka any ikuma no ikuma ni titru pa ene obi a wo hwe na nyame aye wadom ato nsem na pese usi dan no ti asem we na hye ne so pa ɛdan no so